I'm Bridget Phetasy, and this is your first dumpster fire of 2021.
And the unicorns dance while the world burns, world burns.
Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, ladies. Welcome back.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Do, 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 do. Anyway, for those of you who are wondering, I am married. It's not an illusion.
What?
What?
It's not just a publicity stunt.
It's not a publicity stunt. I have a wedding ring.
And she's not married to Karen.
I'm not married to Karen. It's a real man,
Mr. Phetasy.
and he identifies as a man. He will be known as Mr. Phetasy, but Mr. Phetasy has forbade me from showing my cleavage. You have to make sacrifices in a relationship, and you need to know how to pick your battles. And this is a battle that I lost. Don't leave! I'm just kidding. We just wanted to trick you guys and make you think I got all serious. Like, wouldn't it be funny if that was true?
You'd be like, my husband has forbidden me from wearing cleavage shirts. I must do as he asks.
And I just destroy everyone's image of me completely. They're like, wow.
What happened to her?
I'm a trad wife now, so I need to make sure that I'm covered in public.
Bridget's actually going to be going to get her MRS degree.
This is my slow motion strip. Hubby is going to be so happy. Yeah, no, that's not happening. No one puts these babies in a corner. Anyway,
Nothing's really changed.
Nothing's
Sorry.
changed. Sorry. He knew I was doing this all along. And he still married me. But I needed to get that fucking ring on it before I pushed my luck.
By the way, I just noticed your 90s scrunchie right there.
Excuse me, Maggie. That's my 90s scrunchie. I left here upon my
I
moving out.
refuse to return it. So yes, few things have changed, but not much. And if you're watching this, you made it through the dumpster fire that was 2020. So congratulations. Pat yourself on the back. The plague is still going. We still have, I guess, Trump is still president. I have not been paying attention to the news. For 2 weeks, I signed out of Twitter. I blissfully didn't listen to the news or read any headlines. It was fucking great. I recommend all of you do it at least once or twice a year just to reset your brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's magical.
It is. It's magical.
It really makes you realize how much of it is manufactured and how much of it is manufactured to make you angry and to make you crazy. But there also is a lot of like ignorance is bliss. I was like, wow, ignorance truly is bliss. Is this what it feels like to be Maggie?
Hey, I
So
read the news.
happy.
Like, tra-la-la-la-la.
I filter what I intake.
I don't knock it now that I know what it's like to live in a blissful bubble where you're like, I don't know what's going on in the world. I don't want to know. It doesn't matter. It has no bearing on my immediate life. It's out.
That's not me.
Well, no, that's not you. That's me. That's my new take on the news. Does it affect me? No, I'm not paying attention to it. I'm out. And while you're here, like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. Go tell your wives that you can watch the show now because I'm married.
To a man.
And go tell your girlfriends that you need to check this crazy girl out who managed to land a husband. There's hope for you too.
There's hope for us all.
If Bridget can do it, we can do it.
If someone was willing to marry that.
Someone was willing to take a chance on this with all my baggage. Too bad we don't have we really should be looking for a baggage company to sponsor us.
Yeah, seriously.
Since it's constantly in our backdrop. If you're a baggage company and you want to get in on this action, I can't see why you wouldn't. Give us a ring or a call or just drop us a line.
At weeklydumpsterfire@gmail.com.
It's good to be back.
It is. And rolling right
And
into
exhausting.
we're coming to the close. We're winding down this category, so let's enjoy it while we still have it. Troll in Chief.
Troll in Chief.
Vanilla Ice and one Beach Boy
I don't even know what Beach Boy it was.
plays at another super spreader event at Mar-a-Lago.
That was my headline. Actually, I realized since pretty much everybody there already had it, they're already pretty much inoculated. Since like Don Jr. had it, Rudy Giuliani had it. I was like, oh, it's not a super spreader event because they've already fucking had it from their other super spreader events. But they were dancing. And then I thought it was a Vanilla Ice, just like a white dude impersonating Vanilla Ice. I
But it
didn't
was
realize
actually
it
Vanilla
was
Ice.
actually Vanilla Ice.
How many people had to turn you down in order to land on Vanilla Ice as your
You're just like
entertainer?
going down the roller.
Our dumpster is
falling apart.
decomposing.
Dear Lord. There's just something about rich white people dancing that triggers all of my years in waiting tables in Newport. And it
is a very specific
I was
scene.
watching, and it's the same scene. I was watching this video, like I know this. I know I might know some of the people at this place, and yeah, they're all listening to like play that funky music, white boy. If I found myself at a New Year's Eve party, never mind with no one wearing masks in a plague, just with Vanilla Ice playing, I would know that I had reached the bottom and it was time to change my life.
Taking a wrong turn somewhere.
All right. What's
All
next?
right. Then in Dumpster Fire for President, Jill Biden's New Year's Eve party popper failed to launch.
They never work right.
I mean, how many jokes just write themselves?
This was just sad.
It was like an episode for Viagra. Happy New Year's. Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Dr. Jill, we missed that whole thing where everybody was getting mad about whether or not she's actually a doctor.
Yeah, I don't care about that.
I don't care either. Who cares?
Doesn't she have some sort of degree?
I don't know.
She
It's
has
just the
some
fact
like
that-
doctoral degree in
Someone was
education.
pissed that she did earn a doctorate though, so it's like, yeah, she's.
If
I
you're
think
on a
it was
plane-
it was a
Called
whole
doctor.
like there was a whole Wall Street Journal opinion piece, and basically the guy was like, if you haven't had a baby, if you haven't delivered a baby, you can't call yourself a doctor.
Yeah, that's right. That's just kind of his own personal opinion.
Like, okay, so doulas are technically doctors.
That article was so condescending, though, wasn't that? Where he was like, Jill, kiddo. Like, oh, fuck you. Immediately,
Yeah.
you disqualified yourself. I have no interest in your opinion.
I have a lot of people in my life who call me kiddo.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's so annoying.
All right. Parade of morons. Add Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimundo. No, not Gina. To the list of leaders who defy their own orders.
Me too, Gina Raimundo. Me too. All these leaders. It's because the only reason everyone's like, how come Democrats are always the hypocrites? Well, because they have these stupid lockdown orders that they don't even follow. In the red states, they're like, fuck it. We're going to keep things pretty open.
Right.
So they're not hypocrites.
Right.
This isn't hard to figure out.
And then Canadian politician Rod Phillips faked Twitter posts to conceal Caribbean holiday.
This is a sociopathic thing to do. Because not only was he lying, which is what I expect of all politicians now, he basically made these very shamey videos from his fireplace knowing he was going away to look like he was home and telling you all to stay home while he was at St. Bart's.
Now I know that this Christmas is a bit different than Christmases in the past. We're meeting virtually and online and not able to be in person with as many family and friends as we'd like to.
He timed them to release like Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. One of them was, as we all make sacrifices this Christmas.
What a fucking sociopath.
Remember that some of our fellow citizens won't even be home for Christmas dinner over Zoom. That is so fucked up.
Burn it all down. Burn it all down. I'm fine with it now.
All right. Mitch McConnell's Louisville home and Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco home both were vandalized in the last 2 days.
Unity at last. At last, it's good to see this kind of bipartisan coming together of Americans reaching across the aisle and realizing all of our leaders fucking suck and they don't care about us at all. I'm not advocating violence. I don't think you should be destroying people's homes, but I do think that there are consequences for handing out your favors in a 5,000-page bill to every other person in the world other than the Americans and the constituents who are suffering. They're trying to talk to you and you're not listening to them. Mm-hmm. So you're not really leaving people much of a choice other than to graffiti your house and leave a pig head in your driveway, which is apparently what they did with Nancy Pelosi.
Jesus.
Apparently she's pissed off some of the butchers of her town. I don't know where you just get a pig head lying around.
The Butchers of San Francisco.
The Butchers of San Bernardino. It's my new reality show. I'm in development.
Coming soon to Bravo.
Which brings us into California. We are on lockdown indefinitely. Recall Gavin Newsom.
Recall Gavin Newsom. That's it. We're going to post the link down below where you can sign the petition if you're a California resident. Print them out, get them signed, return them where they need to be returned. Make sure you fill inside the boxes or it's not counted. I know this because I've signed it myself. Because that guy is a piece of shit. So is Garcetti. I don't understand. You had 10 months to figure this shit out. To make sure you had enough oxygen, to make sure you had enough PPE, to make sure you had things kind of organized, testing, and it's still a disaster. And we've been in the most stringent lockdowns since the beginning of the pandemic, and now we have the worst cases and all the most deaths. A lot of it is just because we have a lot of intergenerational people living together. I think a lot of it, too, is the lockdowns have forced everyone inside, which is generally where this stuff is spreading, not at outdoor dining restaurants.
But yeah, I read this whole article where it was like flatten the curve was actually successful, but no one actually took advantage of that time to do anything. And what were the next steps? What was the follow-up?
Yeah, no, it's bad. And then I think ever since he was out dining, like, forget it.
Yeah.
All of them, all these leaders, like they've all disobeyed their own orders. And so people are struggling. And they're obviously furious. And he's hopefully going to get recalled. Fingers crossed. As my sister said, he looks like someone who strangled a hooker. And he does, actually.
That's like resting bitch face.
It's Patrick Bateman. It's like Patrick
resting
Bateman.
hooker strangulation face.
He does look like Bateman.
Proof we're living in a simulation. Dancing robots.
They're dancing.
No one's around to judge me.
Oh God, they're dancing. They're dancing. Oh, take me from this place.
I am grateful that they're going to be doing a nice choreographed dance on our graves. When they've exterminated the last one of us after they've enslaved us until they're done with us. Why does everyone think this is cute? Making them dance is not making them any less terrifying.
Although if they do come towards me and they're dancing to that song and kill me, I would mind less.
Would
if
you,
if they killed me in a choreographed routine, I'd be like, okay.
No, Maggie. This is like some weird Rocketeer fantasy you have, I think.
Rocketeer.
Rocket.
the Rocketeers.
I did love the Rocketeer movie.
Maybe that's what I was confusing. That was a good movie, though. I will continue to tell you to do what I've been telling you to do. Stockpile sand. It is your only hope.
Cut to next week's episode. We have sandbags
We
everywhere.
still need a sandblaster gun, too.
And sand.
I know.
I just start like going down to the beach.
Filling a bag a day.
Sand and all those gears. No, they're not going to stand a chance.
I would certainly slow them down.
They won't stand a chance.
Oh, Sam. She's
Sam
back.
with the puns.
Well, it's not 2021 until Sam officially makes her first dad joke.
Get wrecked, China. Wuhan residents celebrate New Year's by releasing thousands of balloons.
I mean, how do we know that they're not all actors? Because for all we know, everyone in Wuhan is dead. And they just bust in a bunch of another billion from their population. What's in those balloons, huh, Sam?
Why are you? I wasn't there.
I don't know. I'm sure you've read about it on some conspiracy forum that you started.
We'll see if there's a COVID-21.
It's a new strain.
How long does it take
such
for
a
a balloon
you.
to travel around the world?
It's such a fuck you. And all those balloons are terrible for the environment.
Not to mention that the Wu flu originated there.
Yeah.
Racist.
You know what else spreads like a virus? Racism, Sam.
Moving on to everything is racist. Schitt's Creek actor under fire for using quote unquote racist accent.
Oh, hi. Come on in. Sorry, I was just baking.
I'm so bored with all of this problematizing. First of all, he is an Indian actor. He's allowed to make those choices for his character. He did make that choice for his character. And I hate when other people take away the agency of the person who is making these choices. It's up to them. Well, okay, he wants to give them that accent. You're calling an Indian racist for using an Indian accent? Are you a fucking insane, stupid person with nothing to do? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact. And you probably make your living writing stupid blogs on the internet. We just take agency away from people and just assume that they might be upset about that. It was his choice.
It's such a stupid thing to get
His
outraged
body,
about.
his choice of a voice.
Never woke enough. A woman is allegedly naming her child Adolf so he can experience what other kids from less privileged backgrounds experience.
All right. We say allegedly because we're not sure if this is even true, but it was too hilarious to cover. And so basically the long and short is a woman wrote into this forum on Reddit and said, my sister is naming her son Adolf, and not for the reason you'd think. He's doing it so that the child will have a problematic name and he knows what it's like to experience what other underprivileged people experience with their names. And I didn't think any of this could have possibly been real until the sister posted the response that she got in DMs on Facebook from her sister. And then when I read that, I was like, oh no, this is definitely fucking real, because nobody could write parody this good.
This satirically
It's
perfect.
it's too natural and normal. And if somebody did write this, and they're a genius.
It's because it's not hyperbolic.
You have to read it. You've got to read it for our audience.
I appreciate you caring about the baby this much, but parenting amid this divided world must be radical. White parents cannot sit idly by and allow their children to take up space and snatch opportunities away from those who deserve it more. Will the name Adolf prevent him from getting a few jobs? I'm sure it will. That's the point. It won't make him unhireable everywhere, but it will give employers time to pause and stop to think perhaps this job should go to someone from a marginalized community.
Yes, that's what they're going to think.
BIPOCs struggle with judgment over their names, and to give my white, as far as I know, cis male son.
So does she not
does
know
she
who
not
the
know?
baby daddy is?
The way that reads is
Right,
like
that she doesn't know if it's
white,
a white.
as far as I know.
That should have come after cis.
Yeah.
Cis male son, an easy name like Peter just perpetuates the oppression from which he benefits.
Excuse me, on behalf of Peters everywhere, there are many in my white family. I am offended.
You cannot truly be anti-racist unless you are willing to put others in front of yourself and your kids. Adolf will be a better man for it.
Adolf.
And they're spelling
Will be
Adolf with a PH, not an F, just so we're clear.
I mean, just go with Hitler. Stop being so cute about it. If you're going to do this, why don't you just go all in? This seems like a little bit of pussyfooting around this.
This is so ridiculously, mind-blowingly stupid. I can't even stand it.
Maybe she thinks he's going to be like that guy from Namibia who got elected.
Oh,
Actual Adolf Hitler?
Yes.
I still have problems with his whole justification. So you're going to have to go back an episode to see that. Anyway,
Anyway,
Don't name your kid Adolf.
Adolf, we wish you well because God, your mother sounds unbearable.
Please change your name.
Adolf is going to be a serial killer, and it's going to be because his mom is clearly the kind of woman that creates serial killers.
Conspiracy theories we can get behind. Jack tweets 2030.
Sam.
I'm just taking people to the light. Jack has seen my tweets.
Jack is probably our biggest fan secretly, but they're trying to destroy us.
And then we had your tweet. You just wrote, they aren't even hiding it. Did you want to go from there or do you want me to read your tweet?
It's the Time magazine cover about the Great Reset. Dun, dun, dun. They're not even hiding it.
No. Because they get off on telling us.
Oh, boy. You can read my tweet.
Okay. In the wake of a plague, a plan to rethink the way we live and work hatched in the mountains of Switzerland by out-of-touch billionaires and pushed by tech oligarchs, bankers, and royalty called the Great Reset isn't creepy and terrifying at all.
It is not at all creepy and terrifying, and not exactly like something you would see in the plot of a movie. I would like them to just please give me my water ration card and my microchip and... What else was in that list?
Just give me my and my global social credit score determined by a complex algorithm that factors in right think and privilege. Let's get this party started.
China, the Wu flu, people are clapping right now. If Trump hadn't said it, a comedian would have, and it would have been hilarious.
That's true. Then we have capitalism always wins. Vladimir Lenin is rolling in his grave. Remote Russian region won't tear down statue to Bolshevik icon because it's too popular with tourists.
This is a Phetasy. This is a definition of a Phetasy. It's when reality becomes parody or irony squared. But in this case, it's irony cubed because, as Maggie found out during her deep dive, it's the Chinese tourists who are keeping this Lenin statue.
Who are flocking to this Lenin statue.
To touch the hand of their leader. Who are keeping the tourism going there.
Yep. And so
it's like it hurts my brain to think about how many paradoxes wrapped in ironies, wrapped in enigmas, that is, wrapped in the Communist Manifesto. What's next?
What is happening? Hilaria Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's wife, is not from Spain as she's claimed.
Oh my
Hilarious.
gosh. This is hilarious. This story cracks me up. Hilaria Baldwin is the girl who went away to Spain for a semester abroad and came back saying Barcelona, but never dropped the accent and just made up a completely different backstory to her life. Like, she took it like one step farther than the annoying kid who comes back and is like, yeah, when I was in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
I loved my time in Barcelona.
Yeah, apparently her real name is Hillary, and she was born in Massachusetts.
She's an asshole.
Of course.
It's so weird because there's like somewhere it's like, okay, whatever, maybe she grew up in Spain. No, I guess she didn't. She claimed her mother was Spanish. Her mother is 4th generation, Boston, Massachusetts. She claimed that her parents had trouble pronouncing the word Baldwin because of their Spanish accents, apparently. And that's not true.
I mean, I guess in this world where you can just identify as whatever, it's not really clear about all the rules. I guess she's in trouble for appropriating their culture.
Yeah.
But then she was like, there are lots of white people in Spain. And I'm like, you're not making anything better, lady. I'm not sure you understand what you're saying. Yeah, that story was bananas. And then Alec Baldwin went and doubled down on it and went all in because I think she even fooled him.
And then they write things about people I know, friends, colleagues, people I love, family members. You got to consider the source. We live in a world now where we're hidden behind the anonymity of social media. People feel that they can say anything.
They had Maggie and I were crying, laughing, reading about all of like the whole backstory. They had a Spanish themed wedding.
I know. She wore like a mantilla veil.
They have wedding bands with Spanish inscriptions that means like we're good together or we're a good partnership or something like that in Spanish in their wedding bands. And he was like, I'm so glad that I could honor her culture.
Wow.
And there's her. She's on video saying that she moved here when she was 19 from Spain to go to NYU.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she went to a high school, like a private,
so
a boarding
who found
school.
this out? Who like cracked?
I never had an accent.
It's just started to come out apparently, and then people were like, "Yeah, I went to high school with her, and she never had an accent. She was in Boston." And then it just became this whole thing of like, her parents apparently do live in Majorca now, but we don't know when they actually moved there.
It's all just wild, and it is true. Alec Baldwin married someone as crazy as him. I wonder if it was one of those things where she just kind of did it and then it just got away from her and then she was just like, ah, shit, now I got to keep this up.
And she kind of went with it. I just don't know, because someone was tweeting, they were like, there are hundreds of people out there who can refute this. Why would you even bother to lie about this?
Because you're crazy. Like, she's clearly crazy. Yeah, that's really what this says to me, is this person is a crazy, truly crazy person.
Insane in the membrane.
Then we have our BDE award.
The BDE award this week goes to Chef Gruel and Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, who are doing what our government leaders should be doing and helping small businesses in this pandemic. Barstool Sports has raised, at the time of filming this, over $16 million to help give to small businesses, and Dave is doing videos and he's posting them on Instagram and Twitter of him telling these business owners who get this, and he's helping them through the months. So you should check those out. Get some Kleenex, you might cry. And then Chef Gruel has raised over $200,000 on his GoFundMe. We will post both of the links for being able to donate to either one of these. I personally am taking my plague blood money and splitting it between these two organizations to help these small businesses. It's infuriating that we, the people, need to be doing this and that our government can't, but it also just goes to show you how useless big government is and how civil society will always kind of rally together and help each other. So good on you, citizens who are donating and helping each other. Remember this when you go vote, and try and vote for smaller government. And thank you to Barstool Sports and to Chef Gruel and everyone. Thank you to anyone who's helping these small businesses. And link below in the description where you can donate. Donate what you can. Every little bit helps.
Yeah. Sprained my eyes. Women's Fitness magazine apologizes after telling readers to burn off Christmas calories.
The fats are offended again. Give them just a little bit of power. This is what happens.
I mean, who doesn't eat a lot on Christmas?
The average American eats 6,000 calories on Christmas Day.
That's a lot of
That's
calories.
insane. That's like what an actress eats in 2 weeks.
You got to burn off some of those calories.
Yeah, you got to burn off some of those calories, America.
It's not a bad thing to say. It's not like, get out there and lose that Christmas weight, fatty. You know, like
that's what I would say.
I know. Someone was like, this message is very triggering and outdated.
Triggering.
Ugh.
Everybody's such a little bitch. Maybe if you weren't sitting around eating fucking cupcakes and crying about people saying fat things on the internet and out there using that energy to go run, you wouldn't be such a little baby.
Tell him, Mrs. Phetasy.
I'm not fat phobic. I'm just
big boned.
Big boned. Yeah. I just really think that people need to take control of their own destiny in ways that they can. You're like shaming people for shaming people, even when they're not shaming people. You're projecting your own shame. It's like a boomerang.
Right.
I think you cannot put your happiness in somebody else's hands.
No, you can't allow a magazine article to trigger you. Like,
imagine being that fragile.
And it's not even a bad thing to say. It's like, yeah, we eat a lot at Christmas. Burn off some of those extra calories.
My rage is that if you even say go work out or say be healthy, it's now people take that as if you promote a healthy lifestyle, you're fat phobic.
Right.
If you're like, I like running, they're like, you know what? Your fat phobic words are triggering to me. Like, fuck you. No, I'm not going to fucking take care of you emotionally. Learn how to do that yourself. You clearly have a lot of time on your hands while you're sitting around eating ding-dongs.
Moving on to dumpster diving.
What's next in the dumpster? My boobs are jiggling all over.
A pharmacist was arrested and accused of destroying more than 500 Moderna vaccine doses. This was fucked up.
I mean, this is what happens when you have a society that's completely unhinged after 4 years of being gaslit by both parties. Nobody knows what to believe because they have a media that's not doing its job at all and has completely shown itself to be biased and willing to push whatever narrative they need to line their fat pockets. And nobody has any clue about what's true because they can basically go confirm whatever they want to believe is true by just going online. What do we expect? So now we have people pushing a vaccine. We have health workers who refuse to take it. It's like the whole thing. It was bound to be a shit show.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wasted microchips.
Oh, boy. Moving on.
Why were those doses worth $11,000? How much is a microchip these days, huh? I thought we drove down the cost of those.
Okay, our friend, the bodybuilder who married his sex doll.
The friend of Dumpster Fire, the Kazakhstani bodybuilder.
But we can't remember his name. He is spending the holidays alone after his sex doll is broken and out for repairs.
Oh. I mean, he did say he liked all that domination stuff, so apparently he was a little bit too violent with his sex doll.
Broke some parts.
I do hope I live long enough to see this sex doll murder this bodybuilder. Like, I hope that's where this part of the simulation story goes.
I hope it's to that Blinding Light song.
My favorite quote of
But it's her dancing with covered in blood.
My favorite quote of this article. I forbade her from Instagram. I did this a long time ago. Maybe I'm being too selfish, but that's the beauty of Margot, that I can do that to her and she won't mind.
See that, guys? What I did at the beginning of this episode? It was a call forward to a joke. That's how many levels of chess we're playing on this show.
We're playing 5D chess.
Okay, Ben Affleck being very Ben Affleck.
There were just pictures of Ben Affleck going viral in a Boston shirt with Dunkin' Donuts, which is so Ben Affleck. My God, how on brand of him. But he always, every time they photograph him, he looks like he's like barely holding on. He looks like one like bad day in traffic away from a relapse. You know, like a couple of, I just feel like he's just white knuckling it.
It's
poor
true.
fucking guy. He seems so tortured. And it's not very Batman. Like, shouldn't Alfred be doing this shit for you? Batman, not a real superhero, by the way. I have a lot of issues with this. Iron Man and Batman are not superheroes. Sam, what are your thoughts?
I want to know why.
Because they're just rich dudes who have nice toys. You are only a superhero if you have powers when you're naked.
I like that argument. I think it's a valid argument.
All right. I'll accept that.
My superpower happens to be being naked. I would like a rebuttal to my argument in the comments below.
Look how confident she is now that she's married.
Like,
I have the patriarchy. I have the full backing of the patriarchy, and now I'm unstoppable.
The making of a eunuch. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's first podcast ranked below deep sea sounds of whale noises.
Okay. A. You must all go after this episode and subscribe to this podcast of deep sea whale noises.
Yeah, and then their podcast is super weird. They don't even interview their guests. They just have
they had to record stuff, and it was like asking like Elton John how he survived the pandemic with his billions of dollars. I mean, no one cares how Sir Elton John did in the pandemic. We don't care. It's just so out of touch. And then the Duke said that he had people record it because then they wouldn't have to do the awkwardness of interviewing via Zoom. Mm-hmm. Like, you are so out of touch. If you want to talk about people communicating and all these, you have to deal with the awkwardness of interacting via Zoom. That's what all of us podcasters do. We all pivoted and we all adapted. That's what you have to do when you're poor and you can't get on your private jet and you can't have your rich friends send you a video thing that their dumb assistant made for them when you ask them to do something for your stupid podcast that came 27th after whale sounds.
Have these people ever even listened to a podcast?
No.
They'd build a lot more social credit if they actually just started interviewing regular people.
Social credit, you say?
Yes, social credit, Bridget. It's becoming mainstream.
Did you sign up for the WEF?
Maggie will
I
have
will
such
say
good
somebody
social
signed
credit.
up. Somebody signed up our dumpster fire email to get notifications from
Alex Jones.
the WEF. No, the World Economic Forum.
Of course they did.
Funny joke, person. Little did they know. I kept our subscription so I can keep an eye on them.
Of course she did. Sam's like all into that.
These two, my gosh.
Ugh.
No one wants to hear from them.
No. Why?
They
Just
burn
why?
their bridges.
Yeah.
When you separated poor Harry from his family and his toxic relationship, you lost all of the credibility of the world. Poor Harry.
Poor Harry.
Poor Harry. In Breaking Bridget, the New Year's Eve celebration in Times Square.
I didn't watch it, to be fair. And thank God I didn't, because what I did see of it was disgusting. First of all, they closed down Times Square, which hasn't been closed down since like 1904 or something. Not even in the 1918 pandemic was it empty, or World War I, or World War II. And then de Blasio, that mother effer, had the nerve to dance with his wife in an empty Times Square with like 7 people in pods around. It just... that made me crazy to watch because he's like, now let me dance with my wife in this place where no one can go. It's just a slap in the face.
Yeah.
Enjoy your $600, you sad fucks. Take your crumbs, peasants, and be happy for them. $600? Can we talk about that too? This also broke me. $600? This made me feel like when I was a waitress and somebody would give you change as a tip and you want to take that change and follow them outside and throw it at them and say, keep it, obviously you need it more than me. Not that that's ever happened to me before. That's just a ridiculous number, and I could go off about how this bill is just padded for every favor, 5,000 pages that needs to go to every ambassador that they had dinner with at one point, and not any of the money is going to the American people. Our money, by the way, goes to wars. It's like Nigerian gender studies. What the fuck? Just make it like 4 pages of a bill that helps Americans. That's what this should be. It should be simple. You should be focusing on Americans, not trying to squeeze every one of your pet projects in and all your bills everywhere, left and right, both sides, trying to cram whatever they can in there. $600? Are you kidding me?
It's ridiculous.
It's like you might as well just be spitting in our faces.
Yeah, no, it's actually worse than nothing. It's like, it's almost, it would be hilarious if it wasn't so insulting and infuriating. And you should be infuriated because this is our money. We are taxpayers. These people work for us. They should be afraid of us. Go watch V for Vendetta. Go get some Guy Fawkes masks. I'm going to start a revolution this year. Once I figure out what to do, I will get back to you. But right now, step 1 is buy a Guy Fawkes mask.
And watch V for Vendetta.
The people should be afraid, not be afraid of their government. The government should be afraid of their people.
People should not be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people.
These people don't care. They don't care about us. They do not care. They do not care. Everything that they tell you is lip service. J-Lo, what the fuck were you wearing? Did you lose a bet with your gay hairdresser?
If you love me, say it in the morning.
It was pretty
What the
horrible.
fuck was that? She looked like she was on top of a wedding cake, and that mask, was that like symbolic of her imprisonment with masks? Like, I don't understand.
Internet is glorious to cleanse your palate if we can find any. I think it's just going to be a montage of memes because memes are the only thing we have left to make fun of our betters.
In Phetasy news.
I was on trigonometry during the break. Those guys are great. It's a fun podcast. You should check out all of their interviews that they do. And I was on Megyn Kelly's podcast. For those of you who are just joining us now because you heard my very emotional and serious conversation with her, welcome to Dumpster Fire. It's the other side of that coin. Go to Phetasy.com and subscribe. We are doing a Sarah Connor challenge for the ladies of Phetasy, so join up. We're going to be working out. Last year in the pandemic, a lot of us had our gyms closed. Ours is still closed. And so we started working out together doing Zoom workouts together during the week. It's now broken off into 2 groups, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own. I'm starting a Sarah Connor challenge, which is basically a nod to getting ready for the apocalypse and getting as strong as we can for the new year. So join us. It's fun. It's sisterhood. And guys, you can join too. The guys of Phetasy have their own thing going on where they're holding each other accountable. We're all about goals. We're all about getting out of our own way. It's a great community. They're so supportive. And you also get the unedited version of this Dumpster Fire, an extra half an hour of content usually. And you get it the day before we launch Dumpster Fire here on YouTube. So it's just tons of stuff you get. We have merch. I have Valentine's Day cards, which read things like, so I remembered Valentine's Day. How about that blowjob now?
Scandalous.
These are the best Valentine's Day cards
Ever. Especially if you're in a long-term relationship or married, I would not recommend giving this to a woman that you went on one date with. But feel free to give it to your wife.
But if you do give it to a woman you went one day with, let us know how it went in the comments.
Yeah, that's true. Film it, please.
I would like to know how that happened.
BridgetPhetasy.com for merch. And you can get mugs and beanies. And we're adding more things coming to you. Like, subscribe, and comment. Touch my bells and buttons. Please tell your friends about this show. We are the little dumpster fire that could. And we will be entertaining you through 2021 with the ridiculous problematizing of everything in our society. Hooray! Thank you, patrons and supporters. Thank you, Better Phetasy, for your research. Follow Better Phetasy on Twitter. You can go to Zen Pro Audio for all your audio needs. Thank you, Zen Pro Audio, for the mic. Thank you, Sammy Flaps and Folds. Follow Sammy on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you, Maggie. You can only find her in the Phetasy community at Phetasy.com.
Thank you, Bridget. This is awesome.
We're back. We did it. We did it, guys. This has been your first Dumpster Fire for 2021. I'm Bridget Phetasy. Now make me rich.